Hello. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up or comment if you're here. I'll make sure I'm in the right place. I think I'm in the right group, but my day's been a little nuts. I've got 3 kids downstairs that are hopefully enjoying a movie because I don't have anybody else here to entertain them at the moment. Their dad should be home soon, but is anybody there yet? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started before I get interrupted, although I have a feeling I will definitely get interrupted at some point, so I apologize in advance. So my name is Meredith Ernzen. I was on here for the Dream Kit reveal not too long ago with my son Blaine, but I am a licensed clinical marriage and family therapist. So I see, sorry, I'm sitting on the floor because it was the only spot I could find. So we're gonna make it work. So I see anyone from probably age 5 to, into late adulthood. I don't have a maximum age, but I usually see kids starting around age 5. I see couples, I see individual adults, I see adolescents, I see families, so I see a little bit of everything. And in my practice, I typically will diffuse citrus oils is usually what I do. They're pretty neutral. People don't mind the fragrance of them because they smell like citrus fruits. It's a pretty mild scent and it's naturally uplifting. So I usually diffuse those in my office regardless of what clientele I'll be seeing from one day to the next. I will usually ask at the beginning of there's somebody. Hi, Hannah. If there's anybody that I'm seeing for the first time, I'll ask them if there's any fragrances that bother them, and if the diffuser's bothering them, I'll shut it off. But I've never had anybody bothered by it. Every once in a while, I'll do something a little bit more like warm tones with some cinnamon and stuff like that. But I did used to work down the hall from a gentleman who had a cinnamon allergy, so I had to be careful with that. So I try to use some caution around that, but for the most part, I use pretty neutral stuff. So I'm going to go over the Emotional Aromatherapy Kit. So that includes 6 oils. I've got them in front of me. So they're really pretty. I've got them right there. So they are Forgive, Motivate, Cheer, Passion, Console, and Peace. So those are the names of the oils. I'm going to read over them and I'm going to talk about a little bit on each of them from a book that I love that I always mention, Emotions and Essential Oils. And this book identifies them by the blend that's on here. So like Cheer, for example, is the uplifting blend. So basically in the title, it tells what the oil is going to do for your mood anyway. But before I start that, I wanted to mention something. So what I will normally do is when my clients come in, usually a couple sessions in after I've started with them, unless they're like, oh my gosh, you use essential oils, please, let's talk more about that. And then I'm like, okay, well, here's some things you could try. But what I will typically do is after I've gotten to know the client and established rapport and really kind of gotten a basis for what the issues they're struggling with, I will offer them, I didn't bring it up here, my iPad or my phone has an app called, make sure I think, I do know what it is. It's the doTERRA Daily Drop app. So basically what you do is you just download the app, you go into the app, and up at the top right-hand corner is the little menu bars. And you click on that, and then below that it has a little determine mood spot. So you go in there, and then it's gonna give, I would say 15 to 20 different emotions, feelings, describing how the person may be feeling. And you're gonna toggle over based on what strength you're feeling on the whatever various emotion it's identifying. And at that point you do a submit, and then it gives you recommendations on what oils. Usually it gives a recommendation of like 10 oils, and it will show the extent of which one is recommended. So typically, say I have somebody I have one the other day, she's dealing with fear and insecurity. So what popped up for her was Console, because it's comforting, Peace, because obviously it's peaceful and calming, and then I want to say Cheer was next. Now there are 4 other oils that I'm just going to mention real quick, but I'm not going to go into them much today. And those are the original emotional set that doTERRA came out with, and those are balance, elevation, citrus bliss, and serenity. They're all great oils. These just tend to be a little deeper in complexity as far as I'm concerned in reaching some of the issues, but they're all wonderful. Balance is a big favorite of mine, and it really is what it says. So it's a grounding blend, and it really does provide balance to your life. I use it a lot as a mom and as a therapist. So okay, so let me get into this because I don't want to take too long before we get interrupted. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Console, so the comforting blend. And Console has frankincense, patchouli, ylang ylang. I'm trying to think what else. I believe it has some amyris, sandalwood. What am I forgetting? I like to mention because some people have sensitivities to certain things. Rose. I think that's pretty much it. So Console is pretty self-descriptive, but let me read just a little bit about it. It's used to address the emotions of grief, loss, traumatization, anxiousness, restlessness, feeling unsettled, emotional pain, or burdened. So it's intended to bring about comfort, contentment, restfulness, a sense of wholeness, serenity, and healing. So I have these all in the roller bottles, but they do come in a 5 milliliter bottle too, which makes it a little bit easier to put in a diffuser, just FYI. So a little bit more about the comforting blend. I wanted to touch on one of the little descriptions here. So the comforting blend assists individuals who are burdened by loss, grief, or tragedy. When past emotional hurts resurface, comforting blend can assist in releasing these emotional burdens. I've used it for clients that are dealing with grief and loss. I've also used it for clients that are dealing with forgiveness, stuff coming up from the past, whether it was a childhood trauma or an emotional disruption as far as a relationship went, a divorce, parent-child relationship cut off. It's a really good one for helping work through some of that grief, regardless of what the nature of it. Maybe wasn't a death, but maybe it was a death of a relationship. So Console is a great one for that. The next one I'm going to read about is the Encouraging Blend, which is Motivate. Excuse me, my nose has decided to run right before I started this. So Motivate, sorry, it's really loud, has peppermint, clementine, coriander, basil, melissa, and a few other essential oils. I really like it. I'm drawn to the citrus oils, I think because I always need just a little mood boost. But I love, 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 love Motivate. So Motivate is used to address weary, discouraged, stagnant, gloomy, lacking, feelings of lacking motivation, and unable to press on. So if you're just feeling stuck, kind of writer's block, or feeling stuck and you're trying to work through a project, if you're feeling stuck and trying to get your housework done, I use it a lot. My biggest issue is my paperwork for my private practice. Because it's not much fun. It's not what I went into the profession for. I went in to help people, but there's this lovely side of it that requires me to be motivated to get it done if I want to get paid for my job. So the positive emotions that it evokes are motivation, encouragement, hopefulness, energy, and confidence. And I wanted to touch on one more thing. It assists individuals whose will has been stagnated and needs to be fired into action again. The Encouraging Blend fosters confidence to follow through with one's creative inspirations and intentions. It also imbues a warrior-like spirit and strengthens individuals to face adversities and challenges. And there's my page. I'm upstairs, Aiden. Can you go watch the movie with brothers, please? You want to come sit by me? Okay, you have to be quiet. You have to be quiet. Is Dad here?
What?
Is your dad here?
No.
Okay, come sit with Mom. Sorry, guys. This blend is especially helpful in times of weariness and discouragement when one has lost the energy and motivation to complete important life tasks, such as caring for a sick loved one or assisting others in need. Can you come sit right here by Mom? You're okay. You're okay. Sit down. Okay, so that is Motivate. The next, did you see Mom? You gonna watch me?
No.
You say hi?
No.
No, okay. Sit back, okay?
Why?
Because. Okay, so the next one is Passion. I get lots of jokes about this one from people. Why are you busting out Passion? This one is the Inspiring blend, which works really well with Motivate. I love the smell of both of them, and I'm drawn to them. I always say trust your nose, and I'll tell you more about that after I read through all of them. So, Passion has cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, clove, sandalwood, jasmine, and a few other essential oils. It is used to address self-denial. If you're feeling duty-bound, serious, dull, joyless, or just passionate. Hey, can you sit up so you don't get stuff on here, please? There you go. Okay. Sorry. It's used to evoke passion, risk-taking, vitality. It's risk-taking. Yeah, used with caution. Depends on the diagnosis when I use this one. Vitality, inspiration, feelings of life, playfulness, spontaneity, and creativity. Sit right here. Okay. It is helpful for those caught in patterns of self-denial or regimentation. Overworking and being too serious can dull one's sensitivity and emotions. When individuals are burdened by a joyless sense of duty, Inspiring blend encourages them to be more playful and spontaneous. Hold on. It teaches that there is more to living than working and obligation.
Why are you upstairs?
Because it's quiet. Okay. You want to watch a movie with brothers? Okay. Be careful. Thanks for patience, guys. I know many of you understand. Okay, so yes, it teaches that there is more to living than working and obligation. So really evoking that passion back for life. If you've dealt with depression and you've just felt really stuck or lost, and you maybe you had a job that you really thought was your passion and you've just gotten burnt out, and you need that passion back in your life to really love it again. Or maybe you hit a point and you're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be, and I really want more for myself. So passion is a really good oil when I find clients feeling really stuck. So the next one, sorry, I tabbed these so I could reference quickly for sake of time. Okay, so Peace is the Reassuring blend. It's the blue one. So Peace has vetiver, lavender, ylang ylang, frankincense, clary sage, marjoram, and some others. So it is used to help you feel more in control, feel more attached, to deal with feelings of feeling controlled, attached, afraid, spiritually disconnected, or unsafe. It's used to evoke feelings of peacefulness, serenity, contentment, stillness, spiritual connectedness. People thrive when they feel connected to the divine. Souls achieve true and lasting peace through connection to this source. Without this true peace, there is a human tendency to try to manufacture peace by controlling one's environment and relationships, especially when one feels afraid. It is tempting to try to control others because it gives an artificial sense of order and safety. I'll use this one a lot with families or couples. So when we're dealing with that sense of, let's reflect on your behavior. Why do you feel like you're doing that? That's not normal behavior for you. Or what do you feel like that pattern is trying to achieve? So kind of using the peace to work through some of those barriers. The next one is Forgive. Excuse me, guys. I got that annoying tickle in my throat today. So Forgive has spruce, bergamot, juniper berry, myrrh, arbor vitae, nutka, and other essential oils. It is used to address feelings when you're having a hard time forgiving someone, feeling critical, judgmental, resentful, cynical, bitter, blaming, or angry. Again, use this a ton in relationship issues and sometimes relationship issues with oneself. It's used to evoke feelings of forgiveness, feelings of light, freedom, loving, understanding, tolerance, and empathy. And this blend is especially helpful when individuals feel cynical or begin to expect the worst from other people. Instead of looking for the good in others, they may view them in a negative light. They may also have a tendency to feel justified in blaming others for their own personal situations or misfortunes. Renewing Blend teaches that everyone is learning and growing together. Mistakes and offenses will happen, but should be met with forgiveness and kindness. And a lot of parent-child relationships, if there's been some disruption there, this one is really good to work both directions, parent and child. And then the last one is cheer, which is the encouraging blend. Or excuse me, no, that's not. Wrong one. It's the uplifting blend. And I tabbed the wrong one, guys. Sorry. Love this book because it's alphabetical. Okay, so the uplifting blend has wild orange, clove, star anise, lemon myrtle, which is an awesome oil, nutmeg, and vanilla and other oils. It's used to address feelings of feeling weighed down, hopeless, joyless, heavy-hearted, depleted, or helpless. So it's to evoke hopeful, the feelings of feeling more hopeful, comforted, believing, cheerful, uplifted, joyful, determined, and restored. So it is especially helpful for individuals who feel heavy-hearted or who have been weighed down by many challenges in life. Encountering repeated trials over an extended period of time can have crippling effects and may even create an expectation of permanent suffering with no hope or relief. So that is cheer, and it smells really good. I sometimes compare it to like Fruity Pebbles, which just doesn't smell that sweet, but it's just got an awesome combination of some citrus oils with clove that I can't not smell it. I love that one too. I really like all of them. I'm just drawn to different ones, which brings me back. So what I'll typically do, I have a client or a set of clients in my practice, and I will hand them that app. They will fill out the doTERRA Daily Drop app. We'll submit it, see what it recommends, and I'll usually take the top 3 or 4, and I'll hand them those bottles. And I'll say, just take about a minute, smell one a couple times, sit back, let your body kind of take that in, and smell the next one. And if you have to go back and forth, just take a couple minutes. I usually don't do more than 3 or 4, but I think our body tells us what we need, and I think trusting your gut, trusting that intuition, trusting your body to determine what's going to be the most helpful is, it's reassuring, and I think it helps people trust themselves even more once they've experienced that. And I love feeling that mind-body connection and trusting yourself, and being the first step to that is so fun to see happen in therapy. So I will usually do that, and then they'll pick one or two. If they pick 2, I'll have them do 1 at that point, and I'll usually just have them roll it on their hand because I have the roller bottles, and so I'll have that way they're diluted, so I can use them with kiddos too, and anybody with skin sensitivities. So I'll just have them put them on their hands, inhale it deeply 2 or 3 times, and then I'll have them just rub the rest on the back of their neck. And so I'll have them do that and just kind of take a few deep breaths and just take it all in. And then at the end of the session, I'll have them do it again, either with the same oil that they chose, or if they had 2, I'll have them do the other one before they leave. So I bring them into the session with a feeling that's hopefully comforting or uplifting, sometimes both. And then I'll have them leave the session in the same way. So send them out into the world, kind of wrap back up, so they're not feeling all vulnerable and raw when they walk out of my office. So that is how I use the Emotional Aromatherapy oils. I was going to talk about Balance real quick. So Balance is the grounding oil. This one I keep with this set. I've got a really quick reference here. It is Balance. It helps bring balance to your mood. But let me read just a little bit about it. So it has spruce. I'm trying to think what else. What else is in there? Hogwood, some blue tansy, and blue chamomile. That's the majority of it. This blend brings a feeling of calmness, peace, and relaxation. It can aid in harmonizing the various physiological systems of the body and promote tranquility and a sense of balance. Sorry, I'm trying to talk too quickly for time's sake here. But that's just one that I always joke. I will take it and always have it with me in the car, especially. So when we live far from our family, so when we visit family, I say far, not in relativity to a lot of people, 4 and 6 hours. It's just the furthest we've ever lived away from family. So in the last year and a half. So I will put it on my wrist and I'll do this. So when I'm driving, I can literally do this. So if traffic's overwhelming, or if I'm getting tired, or if my kids are getting a little bit anxious and crazy, or a lot anxious and crazy, I've got it close by. So that's what I've got for tonight. That is the Emotional Aromatherapy oils that I recommend, that I think everybody could benefit from in their home. My kids like to pick out what their siblings need. And then Blaine just did that earlier. My 8-year-old put, what did he tell me? Cheer and forgiveness on his little 3-year-old brother that was just up here. So I guess he thought he needed those. So anyway, they're really easy to use, the roller bottle form, great for emotional health, and I've seen clients respond really well to them. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or send me a message. Thank you for your time.